you're probably wondering, what is WOOP? And WOOP is a practical, accessible, evidence-based mental strategy that you can use to find and fulfill your wishes and change your habits. That's a quote from the website whoopmylife.org. Now, WOOP was developed by researcher Gabriele Oettingen. She's a professor of psychology at New York University and the University of Hamburg in Germany. So she's also the author of the book, Rethinking Positive Thinking. And in over her 20 years of research of motivation, she studied why people who were positive thinkers or dreamers are not often doers and don't achieve their goals. So through her research of what is scientifically known as mental contrasting with implementation intentions, say that one 5 times fast, she's proven that the WOOP mental strategy for goal achievement is an effective framework for change. So why is mental contrasting useful, and what even is mental contrasting? So mental contrasting takes the power of positive thinking and it mixes in some realism and really some negative thinking. Because in her research, what Gabriele discovered was that if people only thought about the positive, about visualizing the outcome, what they wanted, they wouldn't achieve anything. And in her research, what she did was she tested the blood pressure of her research participants, and after they visualized those positive, them winning the race, them losing weight, she had many different types of research things that she was specifically studying, but after they visualized that positive outcome, their blood pressure would lower, which is probably good for your health, but it's showing that you're getting to a relaxed state. And if you're relaxed, you're not going to be motivated to get up and make changes. So it's not going to be helpful if you only visualize the positive, because you're not going to have the motivation to change. On the flip side, if you're only looking at the negative and all of the obstacles, it's going to feel pretty hopeless and you're not going to have any motivation to go out and go after your goal either. So you really need to balance the positive thinking about your desired outcome with a realistic look at the challenges and the obstacles that are probably going to come up, so that way you have the motivation to go out and do something about these obstacles to achieve your goal. And that is what the goal setting framework WOOP does. And so the steps to WOOP are wish, outcome, obstacle, and plan. Wish and outcome are the positive thinking pieces. That's the visualizing, achieving your goal, getting your wish. It's the what's it going to be like, what's that best possible outcome after you've achieved your dream. The obstacles, that's the negative thinking part. That's what could possibly come up that's going to prevent me from achieving my goal. And then there's the plan part, and that's the implementation intentions, where we're going to come up with a way that we're going to have a specific plan, and if this happens, then I will do that. That kind of plan to overcome the obstacles. So now let's explore each of these individual steps to WOOP and how to apply it to your horsemanship wishes. So the first step of WOOP is wish. And what we're going to do is write down your wish for your horsemanship journey. So a couple things about the wishes. So a good wish is challenging, but it's also realistic or feasible. It's something that you can actually do. So if your horsemanship dream is really big, then it might be helpful to write down several specific wishes, several smaller wishes, the steps to get to the really big wish. And most of us do have several wishes. So I want you to think about your most important wish for your horsemanship journey that you want to achieve. The second part of WOOP is outcome. So what would be the best, most positive outcome of your wish coming true? How would fulfilling your wish make you feel? What will your life be like after you've achieved your horsemanship wish? So in this step, you really get detailed, and even I want you to take a few minutes and visualize that best possible outcome. The next step is obstacle. And in this step, really ask, what is it within you that holds you back from fulfilling your wish? Now for this step, we really want to pick an internal obstacle, because an internal obstacle we can control. We can control our own thoughts, our own actions, our own behaviors. External obstacles we often don't have very much control over. So thinking about your obstacles, think deeply. What is it really? So an example that often comes up is the obstacle of I don't have enough time to ride. And on the surface, this might seem like this is an external obstacle. But if we dig a little deeper, let's ask why. So if your obstacle is I don't have enough time to ride, ask, well, why is that? Why don't I ride every couple of days? What is it that happens that is preventing me from riding? And your answer might be, well, when I get home from work, I'm stressed and I'm tired and I just want to sit down on the couch and watch some TV and relax. And then I end up watching TV all night and I don't go out and ride my horse. So that really gets down to that internal obstacle of when I get stressed or tired, then I don't get motivated to go out and ride. So thinking more deeply, asking why, what is it really that is at the root of this obstacle, and getting to an internal obstacle. So thinking, what is it within you that holds you back from fulfilling your wish? What is it really? So think deeply and ask yourself why. The last step is plan. So for the obstacle that you identified in the previous step, you will create an implementation intention to overcome it using this format. If obstacle occurs, then I will take action or thought. So the implementation intention step is key because it recognizes that you will experience negative thoughts and challenges as you work toward your goal, and it prepares you by having a plan to overcome it. So this builds up your belief in yourself and your self-confidence. So to go back to our example of the not having enough time because when you get stressed after work, you just want to sit on the couch and watch TV. So let's turn that into a plan. So in this format, it would look like this. So if I get home from work and I'm feeling stressed and just want to sit on the couch and watch TV, instead, then I will get my riding boots on and go to the barn because I know that riding is just as good a stress reliever as sitting around watching TV. So putting it in that format, that if something occurs, then I will do or think XYZ. Another example that I have in the picture on the slide is more of an internal of your thoughts and your feelings. So this example is, if I start to feel like I am not a good enough rider to compete, then I will remind myself that we all start somewhere. No one was born a champion. So the implementation intention can also have part of that positive affirmation, that replacement of the negative thoughts. And this is what makes it so effective for making change and motivating you to go out and achieve your wishes. So let's recap the steps to WOOP. The W is wish, O, outcome, O, obstacle, and P, plan. So wish, outcome, obstacle, plan. And together that makes WOOP. Next, I'm going to share some tips on WOOP. And one of the biggest tips that I really recommend is that you're taking time to visualize both the outcome and the obstacle. And like we had said before, that mental contrasting works best when you imagine in detail that best possible outcome. So that's the positive thinking piece. And then also visualize in detail the obstacles. And this is that realistic perspective, even a little bit of that negative thinking. And this gives you a clear picture of what you want to have happen, and then gives you the motivation to go out and do something about those obstacles so that you can make your wish a reality. So really harnessing that power of mental contrasting to achieve your wishes. Another common hurdle with WOOP is narrowing down your wish. And it's really common that our horsemanship dreams can be really, really big. And so what we want to do is break that big dream down into smaller wishes. And one way that is really helpful to do this, if you have a really big horsemanship dream, is then to list, so get out a sheet of paper, write that big horsemanship dream at the top of it, and then list out all of the things that you need to do to achieve that big dream. So this should be everything from the littlest tasks to big tasks. So things like calling the vet to schedule an appointment for health papers, to learning how to cue your horse for a lead change, to packing the trailer for your overnight trail ride, reading the rule book. You're just going to list everything out. Then after you have it listed all out, everything that you can think of, then sort that list into short-term, mid-term, and long-term. So the things that you're going to need to do probably in the next month would be your short-term. The midterm would be like the 60 to 90 days, and then the long term would be things that you would need to do over the course of the year to achieve whatever your big horsemanship wish is. Then once you've got that sorted, you look at the short-term goals and pick one out that you want to achieve in the month of January, and start with that as your wish, and then work through the WOOP process. Then once you complete that wish and you've achieved it, then you pick another one on that list and use the WOOP process again. And you just keep repeating this over and over and over again. And before you know it, you'll be well on your way to achieving that really big horsemanship dream. Another tip that I highly recommend that you do is that you write down your plan on a Post-it note and then stick it somewhere where you'll see it every day, like your mirror, or you could put it with your grooming supplies so that before you go ride your horse, you read it. Just put it somewhere where you'll read it every day so that way your if-then plan just becomes second nature. It's something that you don't have to think about, you just do it. So as you've probably realized, the WOOP mental strategy is really versatile. You can use it for many different types of goals, from those teeny little tasks that you just have to accomplish to really big goals as well. And since the WOOP strategy is so simple, you don't have to write it down every single time. You can just do it in your head and run through it mentally. So another question that people often ask me is, when should I WOOP and how often should I use this? Well, to answer the when, some people like to do it in the morning and choose their most important wish for the day, the thing that they really want to accomplish. I also have some times where I recommend that people WOOP before they ride, so you can choose a wish for that specific ride. Visualize how you're going to feel at the end of the ride when you've achieved your wish. Visualize any inner obstacles to achieving that wish, and then creating a plan using that implementation intention format of, if obstacle occurs, then I will action or thought. So you can WOOP whenever and how often you like, and once WOOP becomes a habit, you'll find yourself using it all the time. It really is a useful, simple mental strategy that helps you to take action and really just to get stuff done.